November 14, 2024. This is the S&P 500 E-Futures Mini on the 2000 tick chart using NinjaTrader 8. This is what the chart looked like today. This is how I drew it up. I didn't find this big down channel until a little bit later. It didn't establish it. First, early on, I thought it was in this red down channel. And the only economic data that came out today was at 5:30 Pacific Standard, which is about right here. Looks like it caused this sell-off, which is the core PPI and the unemployment claims. And then supposedly there was another piece of economic data that came out, not economic data, but right around 12, Fed Chair Powell came out and gave a press conference. So that caused, you could argue that this caused this sell-off right here. I took a total of 6 trades today. Today was a pretty bad day for me. It's a pretty big red day because out of the 6 trades, I lost on 5. Now, I'm going to get into where the bulk of the trades happened, which is right here. There was just trade after trade after trade. This is right here, 3 trades in short succession where I took and I lost on all 3. And it was definitely revenge trading. I got on tilt, felt triggered, and just kind of lost control. And then I took a final trade way over here when I knew I should have just walked away, and it also ended up losing. There was only one trade that I took then at won. So I can get into the trades right now. In the pre-market, things looked like it was going to be a range day. Ended up selling off, having this big spike up. I did see this, not in real time though. I saw it after the fact. It was like a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long. This is a trade I think is worth considering if this is during regular trading hours, because it's a break of the green up channel, test of its high, came back, made a second attempt. It was like break, one attempt. This could be the second attempt. It's also a triple test, decent signal bar. EMA is holding support. Maybe worth a consideration if this is trading during real regular market hours. Then prices move. I thought I was in this kind of trading range. I had this orange up channel. Unfortunately, there's no first entry long till you get to here, and then you have a second entry long. Second entry long, it's confirmed second entry long here once this one forms, but this one's inside bar. The 2 previous bars were kind of bearish, so I didn't think it was a trade here. Plus EMA is kind of flattening. There's a triple test up here, but there's no clean signal because there is a new low here. First entry short, second entry short, but this is an inside bar, so I didn't really like that. And then prices started moving down. Moves in this green down channel. I'm just waiting. It breaks through the pre-market low. Break of this green down channel, break and test the low. So I'm thinking down channel has played out. Potentially this could be a failed breakout if we move back into the pre-market trading range. They do have a second entry short here. New low, first entry short, second entry short. Unfortunately, it's too far from the EMA. It's a second entry short for sure, but its downtrend has played out, so I'm a little cautious when I see this suddenly go short. Price then continue moving. It hits this support area, first entry short. Technically, I have a second entry short, no sit up there. Pushes down. So this is what I actually see. I saw this new low, and I saw it was like a push up of this green channel, and it's a break. I saw this as one attempt up, actually one attempt up here, but I also saw this as a lower high. So I saw this first entry short, second entry short. Technically, I have a third entry short. It's a break of this orange down channel, and I thought this was a decent signal bar, but I wanted to get a confirmed lower high. So you don't get a lower high here. At this point in hindsight, it's clearly moving sideways. It's congested. EMA really isn't reliable, but I didn't think about that. I thought it was kind of this wasn't the best signal bar. So I do have a lower high, but this is an inside bar. So I jumped on this trade and I should have reconsidered it because when this one opened, actually opened up here, it flushed down. I thought I was going to try to ride this down because I thought this break of this orange down channel is going to test the low. So I entered here one tick below. It kind of floats and then it pushes back up. So this actually didn't quite even, this made like 3 ticks and then it reversed back up and then it stopped me out right here. So when it stopped me out, that was my first loss. I saw this as a potential new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long failure. It's a new low, first entry short, second entry short. Both of these setups are confirmed now. There's a strong engulfing bar with one tick above the previous, which is this guy, move one tick up. Then it flushed down and it closed below the low of this previous bar. So I really like that. I entered on a limit order to reduce the risk. So after this closed, I entered right here because I didn't want to move one tick below. I entered here, got it, flushed out, just quickly took the whole entire position off. It wasn't going for a runner. Looks like a runner. If I did take a runner, I most likely would have gotten stopped out probably on this candle anyways, so it's okay. First prices start moving down, it hits this consolidation area, moves up, and I was originally thinking it was this trading range and it had a fail breakout. This blue line here doesn't exist yet, so I just kind of get it out of the way. There was some kind of support here that I suspected might be important. The first entry short then comes down, breaks a new low. It's a new high, first entry long, and it kind of pushes down. So there's no trade here. Prices then continue moving down. I don't have this red channel fully trusted yet. I did have a potential trend line coming down, and I matched it became a channel for the highs and lows here. The first entry short, technically I have a second entry short. Unfortunately, this isn't a good signal bar. It's a break of this green up channel. Tested and made a new high. So then prices started continue moving, it breaks above the EMA. It starts to move back into this support area. So I was debating whether this was part of a trading range at one point. Keep in mind this gray thing isn't here right now. Prices move up. It looks like it's floating inside this orange up channel, holding support pretty well. Right now, the red down channel is holding resistance pretty well. So I'm keeping an eye on this for potential trade. I like the fact that this yellow up channel, it's not confirmed yet, but this red down channel, it's holding resistance and I'm pushing into the pre-market lows. So this could act as some kind of resistance. But then it breaks through and it keeps moving up, pushes up. This actually was right here. Doesn't really come into play until later. So this line doesn't exist until later. Let me just get it out of the way. It's a new high, makes a double top. It's in a trading range. EMA seems to be holding, but now it starts pushing back through. It's a break of this green down channel and tests the low. So this down channel could have played out, right? Starts coming back up. I saw this as a new low, first entry short, pull back, and this is actually where I take my third trade. Now this is a really bad context for taking a short, but I saw this as a potential second entry short. So I'll go through my thinking process. The setup is there, but it's in poor context. EMA is starting to hold resistance. It's a good signal bar, but that's the only thing going for it. So I saw this break of this orange up channel. It came down and it doesn't look like it's going to come back up and test it. I was expecting a move back into this red down channel. It's a break of the green down channel, test and already tested the low. So that should have been an indication right there that I shouldn't even be looking to go short. That's all. First entry short, second entry short, good signal bar. EMA is holding prices down. I decide to enter. I entered one tick below, and it actually moves right down 1 point, but doesn't fill my order. Then it reverses up and takes me out. So I have one loss, one win, one loss. So this really, I think that's probably the start of my going on tilt because I felt like there was all this price action. There might have been something here, might have been something not there. Clearly there was nothing there, but this wasn't even a trade I should have taken. And so, especially when it moved one tick, it moved all the way down 1 point without filling my order. I kind of mentally got frustrated and decided I just need to get that trade back. I need to get my loss back. So I saw this as a break of this orange up channel, tested and made a new high. Oops, didn't mean to do that. It pushes down, it creates this candle. For no good reason, I decided to take a trade. I saw first entry short, second entry short, break of this orange up channel, good signal bar, close right at the EMA. I just saw the good signal bar. That's pretty much all I saw. It was closed right below the EMA, and I just justified it as a short entry because I just said the uptrend of this orange break has played out. obviously prices are going to come down. Neglecting the fact that this green down channel is broken and tested low, it could be moving back up to maybe, test the highs of this orange channel after all. So I decided to just enter short. Enter short right here, immediately flies back up and takes me out one tick above. Well, I had my stop one tick above this double top here. And as you can see, it went right to it and took me out. And that got me really frustrated because I knew it was 1 point to here. I didn't get filled, but then 1 point pretty much up to here, and it did take me out. So that, yeah, that I was just kind of mentally lost at that point. I was just kind of flipped my lid, and that's definitely an indication I should walk away. I broke a few rules. I lost one, won one. After the second loss, I should have just walked away. Should have shut down the shop, said no more trading. But I jumped in on this guy, which also lost, and then I was just kind of at the point of no return. So I decided, okay, it moved up one tick, took me out, flushed back down. Flushed back down, I said, okay, now prices are going to come back down. It was a break, 2 attempts up. It fooled me, trapped me, and now it's coming back down. So I jumped on the entry right here, right at the lows of this candle. You can see this pinkish entry. I said, I am going to definitely get my losses back. So this is already a illegal trade. There's no reason I should take this trade. I jumped on it though, because I was just flipped my lid, bad decision making, everything was going wrong. I also said, instead of the 1 point, I want more. I want 2 points. So I moved my usual profit target of 1 point. So it says 6,375. I need to get out normally at 6,275, but I moved it all the way down to here. I wanted all that loss to get taken back. If I actually kept it at the 1 point loss, I would have gotten it back here and slowly grinded it back out. But I didn't. I hung out. And then as you can see, my stop is one tick above this guy, and I got taken out. So it's 3 losses in a row. That I was really worked up at that point. I knew, wow, that was poor decision making on all 3 trades here, especially these 2 X trades were completely foolish, shouldn't have happened, stupid thing to do. Now I'm 5 trades in, only won 1. And you would think I would walk away, shut things down. But as you're going to see, I skipped, waited, and I actually took a 6th trade, and that one also lost. But before we get there, prices are moving up, drops around. I thought I was going up this green up channel. Only a first entry long here. Technically a new low, first entry short, second entry short, not a good signal bar. You could have extended this like this. Starts moving down on this green down channel. Break of the green, test the new low. Looks like a higher low here. Decent signal bar. Enough room to the EMA. And I also saw this as a new low. First entry short, second entry short. Second entry short, I called an almost trade because the signal bar isn't very good. There's a break of this orange up channel. Now, whether the break happened here or not, you could say at least for sure there was a break because it dwelled outside and then it pushed up. So it did test the high. So the uptrend could have played out. Maybe it's starting to go reversing back down. EMA may start acting as resistance. But after seeing this, I decided to wait for a lower high confirmation. Lower high never shows up until way down here, which is already too late. The trade's already moved. Prices then continue moving. It was moving down on, first I thought it was this green down channel. Then I thought maybe it fits better on this yellow down channel. Prices are moving. So here I don't think we're in this red down channel anymore because we had this big dwell time outside. So I started, let me move it back. I actually had it down here, but then later in the day I moved it back up here. I drew this gray channel here, but I don't trust it fully because there's some violations here, violations here. It's not the cleanest fitting setup, but still it's something to work with. Prices move up after this bounce reversal. There was no way that I could see to enter this. Technically, you have a first entry short, pull back. Here you have an almost trade because it's an almost second entry short because there was no break. There was a push up, but there was no break below here. If this candle had only closed right at the low or at least tick below this green one, then I think it would have been a valid second entry short and a worthwhile trade. You also technically have a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, and it's a failed second entry long. So I'll go ahead and put in a failed second entry long. The thing I didn't really like and why I called it an almost trade is you can see it made a triple bottom here, all right at the same line, and these candles are the same size, effectively the same size. Like one big one, another one, and another one, all side by side. So I'm a little confused. I don't know if this green is going to make another push up to test the highs of this break of this green up channel, or is it actually going to flush through? Since the EMA is sitting right here, I decided like this isn't really worthwhile to consider going short because there's two key entry points here. I need a break below the EMA and a lower high. So you get a break, but unfortunately that lower high never shows up. So you just had to let it go. And then prices chop, you have a first entry short, and then technically you have a second entry short here. It's not a good signal bar. It's far from the EMA, no real setup here. Prices bounce off the EMA. So it's like a break and test of the new high. It's a little choppy here. I tried to make this fit, but then you kind of negate everything here. If it drew something like this, it doesn't quite fit quite, excuse me, it doesn't look quite right. So I just kind of left it here as a guideline, but I decided there was no real trade to try to attempt here because I'm clearly not understanding what's going on. The prices continue moving. You have a new high, first entry long, second entry long. It's just congested. You're just sideways in a trading range. Prices then move down. Again, you hit another trading range. Technically, you have a new low here. So first entry short, pullback. You have a second entry short, but here the second entry short actually makes a new low. So unless you took it on the engulfing, which I would think is rather risky because you're already hitting potentially a localized low and you might be in a trading range, I didn't think there was a trade here. Unless, as I said, took it on the engulfing because I definitely would not have waited for it to close, take it here. But I wouldn't have even tried to take this trade anyways because there's no clean setup. Prices then move down, breaks out, and it creates this higher low. I thought this higher low is a potential trade because it looks like there's two legs down from here. One leg down, a consolidation with two attempts up. So it's one leg down, one push up, pull back, second push up, and then the second leg down. It's not quite measured because it's actually longer than the second leg, but it looked like it was falling through this orange down channel break. And then it looks like it's trying to push back through to the other side of this orange up channel. So I thought it was a possible trade. It looks like it's confirmation of a new high, first entry long, pullback, second entry long, and then a higher low. Excuse me. But it's a decent trade. I just wasn't, mentally there to take this. And it pushes up. I was debating whether to take it, and when I saw it move up without me, yeah, it started creating more feelings of FOMO. It pushes up, breaks out of this green up channel, pushes down. You have a first entry long, pullback. It creates a second entry long. The second entry long hasn't failed yet. This sets up for the trade that I also take, which is not really that great. There's a break of this green up channel. It looks like I made one attempt up to test the high, made a second attempt up to test the high, and now it failed. So I have a confirmed first entry long, second entry long failure. It's a really good signal bar. There's enough room to the low. So I entered on a limit order to reduce the risk. Boom, I entered right here. When it opened, it flushed up, took me. I was expecting a further push down because I also thought I'm in this yellow down channel. And from here, it looks like there's enough room to get a quick scalp. It flashes back up, engulfs my signal bar entry, and takes me out. And that really, yeah, at that point, 6 trades, 5 losses. Of the 5, the last 4 in a row were losses. I just, I did damage to my account. Pretty much said, I need to just call it a day, pack it up, which should have been done 3 trades ago at the latest. But I just hung around, took another trade. That was foolish. So then add insult to injury, it continues up. There's no clean entries here. You do have a new low here. It's a first entry short. Technically, you have a second entry short here, but it's an inside bar. I don't really like that. Plus, it's above the EMA. No clean justification to take it. Prices move down. First entry long, second entry long failure. Prices continue moving down. hits the low, finally breaks. I'm looking, see if there's a higher low. There's a higher low here. Now keep in mind, I'm not taking any more trades anymore because I'm pretty badly in the red. Wiped out a lot of profits from the past previous weeks of hard work on 6 losing trades. And so I was just like, I was fuming, but I was aware enough to know don't take any more trades. And I did see this and I was thinking, okay, there's potentially a higher low here, but I don't like that it's a red bar. I'm just sitting and waiting. It kind of chops up. It looks like it's floating up this channel right here. It has a fail breakout, not a fail breakout, it has an overshoot, first entry long. And I'm thinking, could this potentially be like 2 legs up and then maybe a push back down? To be honest, I was just looking at this thinking that, but I didn't trust my judgment anymore, especially after today. I was just like, I don't really know what's going on. Leave it alone. I was going to wager a guess that there might be a short here, at least back to the EMA. As you can see, it was a correct uh, thought, but I don't really think it was based off of anything solid, though. The prices continue moving. It's starting to float up this and acting as support. So I saw a new high, first entry long, second entry long, no higher low or anything. And it chops around, moves in this trading range, and it breaks out again. So first entry long. Take a look, you have a second entry long. It's a terrible signal bar. Really strong follow-up bar, but that doesn't really mean anything because there's no trade there. You wouldn't have known to get a trade ready right here. It creates this lower high, and I thought this was a possible trade. So clearly it's a new low, first entry short, pull back, second entry short, potential lower high here. Good signal bar. EMA is starting to show some resistance. And I did have this as drawn as a trend resistance line, not a channel yet. But I saw, okay, it could be a 2 key entry points here. Maybe lower high confirmation of second entry short. And it looked like it would have worked. But as I said, I didn't really trust my read pretty much for the rest of the day after that loss. And I'm still kind of mentally affected. So I have to be very, very careful tomorrow. But anyways, prices move down. It kind of moves in the last 10 minutes and it moves into the close. So I don't know. I don't necessarily know if it was a really challenging day, but it was a challenging day for me because I let my mental apologize for that. My earbud fell out. I don't know that necessarily it was a really challenging day, but it was a challenging day for me because after the first loss, I got the second one back. After getting the second one, I took a very poorly judged entry here, poorly judged trade just because I saw as a technical second entry short, decided against the context. I didn't really think, oh, I'm going to go against the context. I just said, oh, clearly it's a second entry short. I should take it without taking into consideration context. Then these X trades here are just emotional. This is all tilt right here. And all tilt ends up being losing trades. And then the final trade was also poorly thought out. Should have just called it a day early on. This is just kind of like no reason to really want to take this trade. Took it, took a loss. And as a result, yeah, it's a big setback for me. I have to be more careful knowing that, hey, after the second loss, it should be just a hard, fast rule. After the second loss, even if it looked like it should have worked, I should just step away because I was clearly emotionally triggered by then, and then it just did more damage to what was already a red day. So yeah, it was overtraded, traded on tilt, bad day. Anyways, hopefully this was helpful.